everyone, and welcome to the somewhat unconventional presentation of my third doctoral recital at the University of Southern California. I'm so excited to present this recital as a live-streamed virtual production of Bon Appétit by Lee Hoiby as an Instagram opera, and Dominic Argento's song cycle Miss Manners on Music as a series of short films. This production was a great opportunity for me to combine my two main areas of interest, as well as two of my degrees here at USC, arts leadership and vocal performance. I wanted to create a production that wasn't just a live performance transplanted to a virtual space, but I wanted to think creatively as to how I could work with the technologies available so that I could enhance the story and shed new light on the characters in these works. Both of these monodramas work perfectly for this new medium. For those of you who don't know who Julia Child is, she was an American cooking teacher, author, and TV personality who was known for having a larger-than-life personality and who was very entertaining to watch in the kitchen, and who was the star of this opera, Bon Appétit. Since this opera is actually adapted from a Julia Child PBS TV cooking show, where she bakes her infamous Le Gâteau au chocolat l'éminence brune, the opera translated beautifully to film, as I could perform and film myself making the cake from my own kitchen. Still, I wanted to find a way to put my own spin on this production, especially since a few other opera companies were also doing virtual productions of this work during the pandemic. I had noticed that during the pandemic, many professional chefs took to Instagram to create their own home cooking classes, to share their favorite recipes, and to continue to engage with their fans and followers. This got me thinking, if Julia Child were still alive and actively cooking and teaching today, I believe that she would have done everything she could have to continue to engage her audiences and cook for them during the pandemic. So, I decided to produce this opera as if Julia Child were creating an Instagram cooking class. I filmed and edited it entirely on Instagram to render this IG Live cooking class. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Instagram, it is a social media platform which aims to connect people through the sharing of photos and videos. All of the filters and animations used in this film are specific to Instagram and can be utilized by anyone using the platform. Miss Manners on Music also worked wonderfully in this new virtual medium. Based on the text of etiquette expert Judith Martin, also known by her pen name as Miss Manners, this cycle of 7 songs addresses proper audience behavior during musical performances. Each song in the cycle represents a different style of performance, from the opera to the ballet to contemporary music. Throughout most of the set, there are at least 2 different characters in each song. The person who writes into Miss Manners with their etiquette question, and then Miss Manners who responds to the reader's questions, always starting with the salutation, "Gentle reader." To showcase these different characters, I decided to film this set with a green screen, which allowed me to create various settings, utilize different costumes, and even use some animation. Now, Argento, the composer of Miss Manners on Music, was known for creating song cycles that utilized dramatic, unusual text, which didn't always have apparent musical possibilities. His works extended beyond the normal structure of art song and really crossed over into more dramatic works of music, which he labeled as monodramas, defined as a dramatic piece written for one performer. In creating a virtual production of Miss Manners on Music, I was able to use these new technologies to create a more dramatic and theatrical rendition of this piece, which worked toward enhancing Argento's idea of monodrama. In creating this virtual program, I really wanted to create an experience with which audiences could engage differently with than a live performance. The COVID-19 pandemic has dramatically altered the way in which we interact with music, due to stay-at-home mandates and closures of public performing venues and spaces. Arts organizations and presenters have had to think creatively about how to keep up with people's need to interact with music during this time. Initially, many arts organizations simply made past content readily available online, such as the Metropolitan Opera, who streamed a free opera every Friday evening during the first wave of the pandemic, until eventually organizations began to get more creative and discerning about how and what they presented virtually. Indeed, they increasingly created productions that were intimate and participatory, ultimately granting the audience an active role, which is precisely what people crave during these tumultuous times. Whether through Zoom recitals, virtual community choirs, musical ensembles, workshop series, or multimedia productions that merge different artistic disciplines into one, the performing arts have dramatically altered during the pandemic and have had to become more technologically savvy. Now that in-person performances have returned, many organizations are still incorporating virtual performances as a part of their upcoming season. While the electrifying effect of an in-person performance can never be identically replicated, there are still many ways in which virtual productions inspire and promote a new type of engagement with music. First off, virtual performances are easily accessible to anyone with an internet connection. One no longer has to be in the same city, state, or even country to enjoy a favorite musical performance. This has not only exposed people to new performers, types of music, and experiences, but it has also created an opportunity for arts organizations and performers to expand their audience and form new relationships as well. Secondly, organizations have had to interact with new spaces, both physically and virtually, which has created a whole new experience for performers and audiences. These types of spaces have created a more interactive and inclusive environment, which in turn has invited a multi-generational and diverse audience. Artists and organizations have risen to the challenge to meet the demand by facilitating people's need to interact with music, and have in turn created a whole new type of musical genre, specifically one that is accessible, creative, and engaging. By fusing multiple artistic disciplines, such as virtual reality and opera, or film and live performance, we are creating a multidisciplinary space which will invite in different audiences and artists in the creative process. Moving forward, I believe that arts organizations will continue to create virtual productions in addition to live performances, and so expand their audience base as they become increasingly interdisciplinary and engaging in nature. The creative and musical engagement that we have seen during the pandemic is a testament to the adaptability and resilience of people. In times of trouble, people turn to music as both something to which they can listen, but also in which they can be fully engaged, even immersed. It is both a scary and exciting time for artists. The rules of performance have changed, and the possibilities are really endless. As you scroll through my website, you'll be able to see that in addition to my 2 music videos, I have included other links and information which I encourage you to explore. After you read the program notes and watch the videos, you can visit the exact virtual replica of Julia Child's kitchen, which is now part of the Smithsonian Institution, and learn about each individual item in her kitchen and its purpose. Or you can visit the Miss Manners archive and read her past columns that date back to 2000, or even write into Miss Manners herself with your own etiquette question. By providing these various components to my recital, I hope to create an engaging experience for you in which you will not only learn about these 2 fabulous women and these amazing musical works, but you will also take an active role in the performance itself. I hope you enjoy. Thank you.